The Big Al Podcast with your host, Al Bishop, unfiltered and uncut.
Cool. Yeah, well, what, we're going now?
Yeah, we can go for it, man.
Cool. Yeah, no, so I was actually born in Johannesburg, Alexandra. Lived there for a while, but see, my dad's Zulu, but my mom is something else, yeah.
Okay.
So I lived in Johannesburg and Port Elizabeth
Yes.
as well. So you know what I mean. It was like a few months here, a few months there, a few years here, a few years there. But most of the time, I spent in Port Elizabeth with my mom's family, and then just before I came to Ireland, you know, I spent some time in Johannesburg as well. But my family's like spread all around South Africa, so I've been around. You know what I mean?
Okay.
South Africa for a while, and then when I was 11, I came to Dublin, and haven't been back since. Like there's just been a load of stuff happening, just in my personal life and whatnot, and I just hadn't got the chance or the opportunity to come visit home. You know what I mean? And now that I'm older, now that I have the money, I don't have the time. When I have the, you know what I mean? When I have the time, I don't have the money and stuff like that. But I've been waiting years, absolute years. It's 15 years now I've been in Ireland and still haven't visited home. You know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah, it's bad.
okay. And Frans, why did you head to Ireland? Was there a specific reason?
My mom decided to come here, like, cause actually my mom and my little brother, I'm in Ireland with my little brother and my mom.
Okay.
I have an older sister and everything in South Africa. I have like a niece like 1 year younger than me. You know what I mean? So I have a lot of family at home. I haven't seen any of them. My sister, for some reason, doesn't want to come over here, and yeah, but I'm not sure why we came over. I just obviously came over to see my mom and my little brother, and
Okay.
then I ended up staying here. Like, but it was only supposed to be a visit. You know what I mean? And then 15 years later, I'm still here.
Okay. And obviously, in those 15 years along the road, you've picked up on MMA. You've started a professional MMA career.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah, like that basically that whole fighting thing started in South Africa, like, because when I was a kid, I always used to be into martial arts. I just like martial arts. I used to watch Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, and all them on TV. You know what I mean? I was always into martial arts. To get me, and so actually one of my dad's friends was a karate black belt, and he started teaching me karate from when I was like super young. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I never done anything serious, but it was just one on one. Like, it wasn't like a club or anything. It was just me and him. He was just teaching me some stuff, and then obviously when I came to Ireland, I wanted to keep that up, and I did karate for a bit, but I was moving around a lot, so I wasn't really stable anywhere. You know what I mean? So I always like to say I got like the orange belt 4 different times. You know what I mean? Because I had to keep going to different types of karates. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I kept moving so much, so I never actually got past orange belt, but I've got that 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because of the amount of moving I had to do.
Sure.
And then, but after a while, after doing karate for a while, I remember actually I was watching this documentary on TV. I was sitting at home, and it was about boxing. Like, it was about Muhammad Ali. It was actually used to come on every week. I don't remember what it's called, but I watched it, and it was about Muhammad Ali and all the great boxers. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson
Yes.
and everything. And I was just like, I think I might be good at this. You know what I mean? I want to take this up. And then one of my friends took me to a club, and I ended up doing boxing then for like 5 years. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I
Okay.
started when I was 15. Obviously, then 20 was when I stopped boxing. But it just I stopped that because the politics and stuff in amateur boxing, it just kills you. You know what I mean? You'd be training
Sure.
ages and stuff. You'd clearly win a fight, but you still wouldn't get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that happens a lot in amateur boxing. Like, and it just stopped being fun for me. So I left that, and then I took like a bit of a break for like a year. And then how I actually got to MMA was one of my friends was already in SBG. He's already training there a little while, and obviously watching the UFC and stuff like that. I was all into it, but then he decided to take me down there, and then 5 years down the line, I'm still in SBG.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, man. Okay, so that's quite interesting. You took a boxing route and were kind of taken down to SBG via a friend, and was it a natural process for you from there? Obviously, I mean, SBG is synonymous with massive talent and a number of guys coming through. So, how did that next step come about for you arriving at SBG and eventually taking up a professional career?
Yeah, well, it just kind of happened organically. You know what I'm saying? Because coming like everybody, when I got to the club, when I got to SBG, everybody already knew I was a boxer. So everybody already knew I had a fighting background. You know what I mean? So as soon as I joined, I dived in there with the Sharks. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know anything about MMA really in the local scene. All I knew was watching watching it on TV. So from the very start, like that, I started sparring all the pros that were there. You know what I mean, for boxing. Because anytime they wanted a boxer, like they'd come to me. There was a few boxers, like Connor was an amateur boxer, and there was one or two there that did a lot of boxing, and I just kind of merged with them. You know what I mean? Because they did what I did in this new thing. Do you get what I'm saying? So I started with them, and then since I was good at that, I just kind of got into the little clique, and just worked on my jiu-jitsu, worked on my wrestling. Just that's basically how it happened. And then I got along with the coach real good. Everybody was cool, so it ended up just being home for me. You know what I mean?
From your gym, from SBG, obviously there's quite a bit of a South African connection with John Kavanagh himself.
With John, yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading in his book he had to have a bit of a dodgy fight with a Bobby Giannides from South Africa. It's quite a cool detail in his book. As well as, what we can remember exactly is Peter Queally. He's fought here in the EFC. Do you know much about the local scene as it is at the moment?
You're talking about the local MMA scene in South Africa, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I haven't a clue about that, right? Because what happened was a few years back, I got what's it? It's called Extreme Sports on TV, and that's when I started seeing EFC. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This was about 3-4 years ago, and I used to watch that like religiously. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I loved it. I loved it, and all the fights there. And I always imagined that I'd be on that one way or the other. You know what I mean? Sure. The EFC, because I seen it. I was like, it doesn't make any sense why I wouldn't be on it. And then I hear that Quealy's on it, and then 2-3 other Irish fighters is on there as well. This other guy from what's his name? Do you know his name? The black guy, Hurricane or something.
Yeah, Hercules Fadipe, Henry Fadipe.
Hercules Fadipe. Yeah. So all these Irish guys are getting calls from South Africa. I'm like, I'm South African. How come these guys don't know about me or whatever? You know what I mean? But I always wondered, because everybody was like, France, why don't you go to EFC? I was like, if I got a call, I definitely would. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so when Queally got that, I was like, all right, in the next few months they'll give me a call, but the call never came. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's up with that. But that's all the knowledge of what's the MMA in South Africa I have is from EFC and watching that for a while. But that being said, I haven't been keeping up with it, I have to be honest.
Okay, so in other words, we need to have a chat with the top brass at the EFC why a South African-born MMA fighter fighting out of SBG Dublin is not being called 100%. To the EFC.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna get on that first thing tomorrow morning, man. They're gonna get a call from me.
All right, cool.
So that's quite interesting. It'd be interesting to see what they say. It's one of those weird stories because it's like even a guy like myself who's quite involved in the local scene and as well as the international scene. My first experiences of MMA were watching UFCs. Before even the local scene.
Yeah.
And like I've seen your name come around, and I'm like, this guy's obviously South African. What's the story here? Did you start here and then leave, or what was the story? That was one of the big reasons to kind of get this call with you to try and figure out your exact story. How such a talent that South African born isn't fighting in South Africa in the EFC. I mean, the EFC.
Yeah.
The EFC has opened its doors to the international market, and there's a massive amount of international fighters here at the moment. So it's quite a strange thing for me, and I thought perhaps maybe there's a missing link in your story that South Africa and the South African market doesn't really know, and that's what we're trying to get. I think obviously there were a couple of fans that were starting to tag me in posts saying, you need to speak to this guy. When the picture started to emerge of you working with Connor in his camp for Floyd, I think that's where a lot of guys are starting to say, okay, but hang on, who is this guy?
Yeah.
It's one of those strange things.
No way.
So let's just touch on that, Frans. What's it like? Obviously, I mean, Conor McGregor is let's say probably the biggest name in combat sports, but I mean in SBG he's obviously the biggest name there, but he's not the only talent. What's it like on a day-to-day training with these guys in SBG? Obviously Conor himself and then the rest of the guys. I mean, you've got the Russian Hammer there as well. I'm sure it's quite a handful to deal with.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know, like it's good, like, you know what I mean. It's great knowing that you're surrounded by these people, and then training with them. Like you get to see like what level you're at in kind of, in the game basically. But like even like training in people like for especially for this camp, like people that I've known like for years are coming at me like, oh, how's it like and all training with Conor McGregor? I'm like, I've literally been doing this for 5 years.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like it's not new to me. It's great that Conor's made it so big, and how he's done it is just amazing to see. And because for example, I used to be thinking like, oh, if I was friends like with one of these guys from the UFC, I'd get in straight away because I know somebody. You know what I mean? Now I'm in a camp with the biggest guy in the game, like, and I don't know, it's just not going for me as I'd expected to, being at the position I am. Because people like, oh, you're in this camp now, but I've been in Connor's camps for like for example in Vegas. I've been in Vegas the last 3 summers in a row doing camps for fights. You know what I mean? Just with Connor and the group. But his first UFC fights, I think like 70% of his UFC fights I've been in a camp with. But somehow my name is just hasn't been seen, or I don't know. It's weird because like everybody that's around me, everybody that's in the team is getting like benefits from all these things, like things from media and whatnot. Obviously, this is come about now that you're you know what I mean. I'm talking to you and whatnot, but it just seems like for being around these guys, it just seems like I'm like a shadow or something. You know what I mean? There's something covering me. For example, like we'd be in training and they'd be videotaping it and they'd show it, but they'd show everybody but me. It's weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like happening on purpose. It just seems to be that way. It's weird. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe in your sparring clips you've been giving Connor too much of a hard time, so they don't use those clips.
That's. You know what? The thing is, the thing here, bro. The thing is, okay. I remember it was the first time. It was the first time a video clip was used for. I think it was for. I don't know if it was his first or second UFC fight. Right? We had a great sparring session. Like we had a great sparring session. It was back and forth. It was real good. Like real exciting sparring session. And but I was tired, like, you know what I mean. I wasn't fit at the time, and see, I have these big lips. Right? They always burst. They always burst. Like every time, even before I get to sparring, they just burst. Just walking around, they burst. Right.
Sure.
So they and I got out of cage after like I think 4 rounds, 4 real hard rounds. And Connor's always been bigger than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I go out and I lie down, and it just looks so bad. They showed it on TV, and it looked like he just absolutely destroyed me. You know what I mean? I was like, why don't you show anything else? You know what I'm saying? But you understand, like, they're trying to make him look good and
Sure.
stuff like that. Not that you need to, like, he's a real good fighter. Not that you need to, but anytime I've had kind of they have showed me in there, they've just showed me in the worst light. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I get that it has to be like that for him and stuff, but it's still like it still kind of hurts. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it does, man. I'm sure.
Yeah, show me hit him or something. You know what I mean?
So
but
people can
obviously that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the media beast. Unfortunately, they
true story
to be. Yeah. All right, cool, Frans. Let's take a little look at your personal career. You're currently fighting out of Brave Federation. Is that correct?
Yep, that's true.
Okay. We've also actually got a South African there at the moment. In fact, Jeremy Smith.
I hear that. Yeah. I hear that.
So how many fights have you had at Brave now?
At Brave now, I've had 2 fights, right?
2 fights.
So, yeah. So my record now is 3-2, right?
Okay.
But listen, right? Just I know it's shit, but calm down for a second, right? Right? I don't know how it is, right? But my professional career is going the same route, the exact same route that my amateur career started off. Like I started off my first amateur MMA fight was a knockout. So was my pro.
Okay.
I lost the second one. So did my pro. Won the other one. You know what I mean? It's gone the exact same way that my amateur career has gone, like literally fight by fight. You know what I mean? And I ended my amateur career at 13-2. So hopefully it keeps going like that. And I feel like I needed them 2 losses or whatever. Probably not 2. I need a loss here and there. Do you know what I mean? To get me, because you know when I get overconfident and I get too that works against me.
Sure.
Do you get what I'm saying? And I think I've got that now. I've got that fear that I actually can't afford to lose no more. And that's the feeling I had in the amateurs. You know what I mean? And
yes.
I finished my amateur career with an IMMAF world title. I was actually the first Irish fighter to get the IMMAF world championship title.
Okay. And
then went pro after that. And then I'm 3-2 now, so I'll talk to you when I'm 13-2.
Sounds like a deal,
right?
Man. Sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's one thing I think especially South African fight fans are coming to grips with, especially the youth of the sport in South Africa. We understand that, we're not really too stressed about records, but more about performances. The guys are really watching performances more than records. So man, I mean, those things happen. A long amateur career like that is also, it's really impressive to see guys having such long amateur records and to go on and to win the IMF, like world champs and stuff like that. Not too many guys do that. Some guys maybe pull the trigger a little bit too quick in chase of the checks to turn pro, which doesn't always work out. Your next fight coming up in Brave, obviously you've given us a bit of insight into your record now. So are you feeling quite a bit of pressure? Is it a must-win fight for you? Do you feel like that?
It definitely is now. I'm feeling like every single fight to come now is a must-win fight because, like, I'm 26. You know what I mean? I started in this game pretty late. You know what I mean? I would have, like, looking back, I would have liked to be way further in my career than I actually am right now. You know what I mean? So it's literally it's a fight to the death. Like I need to get something going like super quick. You know what I'm saying? But my next fight in November, it's with a good guy, like, because I told Brave that I need to be fighting consistently first of all. You know what I mean? Like I was in my amateur career. Like when I fight consistently, that's when I perform at my best. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is with Brave, like it's only a new organization, and they're only having shows every now and then. You know what I mean? And when they do have them, they pack them all together. Do you know what I'm saying? So they'll have like 4 shows in like 2-3 months, and then don't have anything for another 4 months. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That doesn't really work for me. But I'm in a 3-fight contract with them. There's I think there's 2 fights left now in that contract. But I would have loved to had already, like I'd imagined by this time I would have already finished. I would have already completed that them 3 fights, but it hasn't worked out that way. But this guy they're giving me is a good guy, like a Brazilian guy. He's he's good. I've seen him fight, but I can't remember the name for my life. But he's a good guy. I've told Brave, like, that the better the competition I face, the better I perform as well. I feel like just seeing all my fights, like, you know what I mean. When I had to go against somebody that they were like, okay, you have to watch out for this guy, that's when I've performed the best. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then every time I've faced somebody, they're like, you know what I mean, he shouldn't be really in the cage with you. He's just this and that. I don't perform as good. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's psychological or what it is. Like. Yeah. But it just seems the better the competition, the better I perform myself. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I need to be fighting high level guys, and I've told that to Brave. So my fights in Brave now from this fight coming on should be pretty exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But then I told them again, I need to be fighting consistently. Like, I'd love to fight. I know saying once a month is pushing it, but
sure.
What it is, but I'm saying 2 times, once every 2 months, that just be perfect for me. Like I'd perform like immaculate if I was doing that, because I'm keeping fit, I'm keeping training. Because when I don't have anything for a stretch of time, I just kind of chill out. I'm like, oh, you get what I'm saying? I just get like that. My mind just gets like that, and obviously you have to do other things to pay the bills and stuff, so it's hard to be just training for a long period of time and not getting anything out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's the double-sided sword of the fighter's life, man. It's trying to find enough fights to make it financially worth your while, which is the difficult part for sure. Frans, just give us an idea of your camp, basically. Who do you spend most of your time training with SBG? Who is your head coach in essence?
Obviously, John is the head coach. The head coach. I usually just do everything at once. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like I'm already pretty alright on the feet, striking. So the bulk of my camp is working on the ground. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of my game that I need to step up big time, and it has. Like, I'm training with the best guys, because SBG is mostly, SBG Ireland anyway is mostly just a load of jiu-jitsu guys and a few striking guys. You know what I mean? Sure. The striking guys are high level, but the jiu-jitsu guys are high level as well, and I have a load of them people to work with. You know what I mean? And wrestling as well. Wrestling is a thing, and we have a serious wrestling coach, Sergey, and his class is a killer. Like, you only go to his classes when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he's one of these guys. He'd be like 10 more, and when you get to 10, he'd be like 1 more, and then 1 more, and then it ends up being like 20 or so. Only supposed to be doing 10. So it's good in that way. Like, but I'm really working on my wrestling, and I had an opportunity there to do a bit of wrestling with Deshaun Johnson, one of the other sparring partners. He was an MMA fighter. He was in the UFC and everything, and he's a boxer now, obviously. But I got to do a bit of wrestling with him, and kind of surprised myself, like, because he's a bigger guy, and I kind of held my own. So obviously that's a part of my game that's improved and is still improving. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows, everybody that I fight now just has the idea to just take me down. You know what I mean? Sure. That's what everybody has been trying to do. They just try to get me to the ground, and obviously that's you know what I mean. That's the name of the game, but I'm gonna surprise a lot of people, because I'm getting good at this. You know what I mean?
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Frans, just the last question there, and then we can start heading out. What is your ultimate MMA goal? Where do you hope to see yourself in the next couple of years?
To be honest, my whole thing is that I just want to be set, like financially, like for, you know what I mean. I want to have my family sorted, and I just want to be set. Basically, like I'm with my girlfriend 8 years now. Okay, she's been taking care of everything, like for example, right? You know, for the IMMAFs, like I was already in Vegas and stuff, but you had to pay 800 and something dollars to, like, more than it's 800 something. I just didn't have that money, you know what I mean? And like she ended up working and stuff and sending me money for that, you know what I mean? So she's helped me up my whole career to so I can make it big. So that was my goal then, but my goal now is just to have her covered and take some of the stress off her, like, you know what I mean, from doing all this work. So I'm basically just fighting and doing this for my family right now, you know what I mean?
100%, man. 100%.
But I obviously want to be at you know what I mean, as far as I can get. That's the goal, but
for sure.
That's too obvious.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. That's a great story. And Frans, thank you so much for your time, man. We really appreciate it. And you know, I'm really going to put some serious work into punting your story through South Africa so people can tune in and watch your fight and get behind you a little bit more, man.
Cool.
I feel like you're South African's MMA forgotten son, and we just want to try
100%. You know what? That's perfect. Keep that quote for something. I'm gonna put that on a shirt or something. Because like the last 2-3 years or something, like every now and then I get a comment or something from someone from South Africa, and it just lifts my heart, like, you know what I mean? Because like I'm living in Ireland and stuff. I have the Irish accent and everything, but I'm still South African to the core, you know what I mean?
100%.
When people ask me, like, where I'm from South Africa, I've been representing South Africa this whole time here. Like I fought for Ireland in amateur boxing, in professional kickboxing, and amateur MMA. You know what I mean? So every sport I do over here, I get to the top basically internationally. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I like even at the IMMAFs, I was basically on the South African team, but just not fighting for them. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to the guys and stuff there. Like anytime I get any type of anything from South Africa, I just love it. You know what I mean? That excites me because I want to be fighting for South Africa. You know what I mean? Obviously, Ireland is my adopted home, but South Africa is home.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying? And I appreciate any type of attention from South Africa, and I want to be big in South Africa. I want to bring home. I'd love to somehow fight in South Africa.
100%.
That's a dream.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm definitely going to send this as soon as it's complete, send it straight off to the EFC, and I'm going to harass him a little bit until hopefully they contact you, man. I personally, as a massive MMA fan, would love to see you competing. Yeah, I think the story alone is such a great story. It would be an amazing homecoming to see you fight in the EFC. The EFC's opened its doors to the international market, man, and I think the time is really right. You know, there's always looking for contenders to come through, and I think you would bring a pedigree that would really set the EFC alight, man. So maybe down the line that becomes a reality. Well, I really, really hope so, and I'll give you my commitment to try and do my part, man, for them to get in touch with you. I'd love to see it happen.
Nice. Much appreciated, bro. It was great talking to you.
You too, brother. Have a great evening, and we'll be in touch soon, hopefully, and we'll hopefully see you in the EFC back in South Africa one of these days, man.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
And all the best for your upcoming fight with Brave and everything else leading up to it, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thanks very much, man. Ciao. We're out.
All right. God bless. Bye.